G'day RTOPilot community. In this video, just going to run through our new corporate bookings feature and how it can help you streamline your bulk bookings, add specific discounts for specific clients, and manage group enrollments, including the invoicing for all of your employer specific training. So if I jump into the corporate bookings section here, we can see all of the different corporate bookings that you've got, and you can create new corporate bookings as well just by pressing this button over here. So from here, you've got the specific ABNs of companies that you've worked with in the past, or if you want to create a new company that you haven't done a booking with before, you can search up their ABN. This needs to be a valid ABN, otherwise it will come up as invalid. But for this example, let's just go into a company that we've already done. From here, you then need to select a coordinator. So this is the employee from the company you're dealing with who is sort of going to be running the show from their end, who you're going to be communicating with. So you can select coordinators if you've already worked with the company before, or if you haven't, you can jump in here and create a new coordinator. So the coordinator for this example, let's just say, is myself. I'll jump in here, and then this is where you create the details of the booking. So you've got the booking name, so whatever you want it to be as reference for yourself. The purchase order number, this is for the company that you're dealing with to make sure that on the invoice they know the specific order. Here you've got paid externally, so this is determined if the students are going to pay themselves or if they're going to be paid via the company. Allow enrollments in public classes, so this is if the students are to be allowed to enroll in both the corporate booking classes or in the public classes. So for, some students might not be able to make it to specific classes. This allows them to enroll in those public classes, and it applies the specific discount that you're giving to the booking as well. So for this example, I'm just going to add in some details here. So I've added the booking name, the purchase order number. Paid externally means that the students will not be charged up front. Instead, that will be invoiced after to the company. And then I've also allowed them to enroll in public classes. So from here, I'll then select the class templates that I'm wanting to be teaching within this corporate booking. So let's say that it was a first aid corporate booking. I'm just going to click a few of the first aid units that we have already built into the unit section on RTOPilot. And then from within here, we can add specific discounts either based on percentage, dollar, or fixed. So I'm just going to add a few random ones here. So I've added a few discounts here, and you can see compared to the template what the value is. So we've got a 10% discount on the $140 template, which is $126, and so on for the dollar discount and the fixed price. This is what you want to charge at like a base rate. So we're charging $30 instead of $60 as per usual. From there, I then just create the booking, and then that takes me through to the specific booking page, which essentially hosts all of the information for the specific corporate booking. So in this corporate booking section here, we've got a bit of information on the details themselves, on the company. You've also got the coordinators here. If we've got multiple coordinators, that would show up as well. And then we've got the specific class templates that we're offering for this booking, and then the specific classes, which we haven't built any yet, and the enrollments, again, we don't have any yet. So I'll quickly go through organizing a new class. So if I was to jump on here and I wanted to make a first aid class, I would jump on, select the first aid, and that will then take me over here, and this will autofill from the template, including the corporate booking section here. You'll notice that the price is $140. This price will be dependent on the discounts that you gave in the setup process. So you don't need to change this pricing. This will automatically be done based on the discounts that we gave. So here I've got $140. I think it was a 10% discount, so that'll automatically be added at the end. And then I've just got to add the session details. So I've just added the session details. I just need to click save, and that will automatically add the class to the corporate booking. So if I jump across back into the corporate bookings here, we can see now that this class is within here. We've got the one session, we've got the details on the session there, and we can see that we've got no enrollment. So if I was to enroll a student in that class, I essentially just go to enroll student here. We can see, again, this automatically fills in the corporate booking there. We've got the class here, which I can select the first aid on the 9th of May. And then I can select a student. So if we've already got the student's details, then we can add them here. So, my spelling terrible. So we've got my details here, which we could just add in, or you can create a new student and just fill those details in. So I'm just going to add my own details for the sake of it. Because we had the externally paid bookings, this will automatically tick, so then I only need to tick off the terms and conditions. I don't need to make a payment. If it was a regular enrollment, then when I get the email with the terms and conditions, it would also take me through to the Stripe payment section. But for now, because this is an externally paid, I don't need to do that. So if I create the enrollment there, so we can see that I am a pending student, but if I jump across to the email that was just sent to me, this is to enroll in the class. I just need to click into the enroll button. Again, I don't need to do the payment details here. I just need to agree to the terms and conditions, and then that will take me directly through to the student portal. So within the student portal, we can see the upcoming classes that I've got. We've got this one that was May the 6th, or I've got so many dummy data here, classes, but I think it was actually this one. So we can see all the details of the specific class there. Traditionally, you'd probably only have one class because you're not entering heaps of fake data. So as a coordinator, from within the coordinator portal, we would see all of the different corporate bookings that are under my name. This is what the coordinators would see. So within the coordinator portal, we can filter by the specific courses that are going to be running. We can also filter into the specific classes, and we can also see the enrollments, so which students have actually enrolled, and the specific information on the classes there. So from within the admin side, the next step is probably the invoicing component. So if I jump over here into the invoice section, I can look at the invoice settings. And from here, this is where we can sort of change a few details. We've got the default invoice footer. This can be, the BSB and account number for externally paid enrollments, or, whatever you want it to be, really. We've also got the line item templates. So if you've got some things that you're often having to charge for or invoice for, so here we've got parking or hiring equipment, it can be whatever. You can add the details for those, and you can add GST, the price and the quantity and whatnot. So we've got parking and hiring some equipment. So then essentially, if I jump back into the corporate booking, with the enrollments here, this might be 1, it might be 10, it might be 50. You can then send off your invoices to the clients to pay. So they can be paid externally, and they can also be paid directly through Stripe, which we automate, and it means that the settlement is done automatically. So if I was to jump across to the invoice section here, I can basically generate an invoice and add a description. So here's the May plumbing invoice. I've got the default footer there, the payment, the purchase order based on what we had before, and the days when it's due. So we can add specific line items here from the template. So I can have a look and do the parking. Let's save that one, and let's also add the line item for, let's say that they also hired some equipment. So then the generate enrollment line items will take all of the students that have enrolled but haven't been paid for in a previous invoice and determine the line item cost in the invoice. So if I generate the line item here, we can see that there's only 1 here. If there was 2, if there was 50, then that would generate those. And then from there, I can save it, and that goes into draft. I can make sure that all of these details are correct. We've got the right, pricing and the right total cost. And then from there, I essentially just finalize that, and it will send off the invoice to the coordinator. So if I finalize that payment, that will then send off the invoice. We can see the invoice here. This is our invoice, and essentially we've got all the details for the provide first aid, the parking and the equipment. From within here, your clients can either pay directly, so they can pay via Stripe, and then everything will be settled within RTOPilot. So we probably recommend that. Or they can pay externally. We had the footer note here with the details, so they can do that as well. And then from within the admin portal, you will just need to settle that externally. So the only other real things to note is if a invoice is void, you can jump on here and cancel that and create a new one if some details are incorrect, or if it's marked as uncollectible if the company ceases operations, or whatever the situation is. So if I was to check my account and see that the payment had been done as per the invoice, I can then settle externally. Again, if it's done via the Stripe link, then they will settle automatically, but I can also go in here and settle it externally, which will then mark that as done. So now that invoice is complete, and I can jump back into the corporate bookings, and we can see that this is nice and green. And so from within this corporate booking, you can actually keep running enrollments and classes, and we do offer rolling invoices. So if we were to sign up another 10 students, you would then be able to generate a new invoice, which would not include Tully Moffat, but it would include the 10 additional invoiceable students, and then you can send that off and pay that. So that is kind of a quick overview of the corporate bookings page. There's a lot to go through, so feel free to have a play around, and if you got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to jump on a call to help guide you through it as well. But yeah, thank you for listening, and see you soon.